Min's Minute Modcast with his mates. Episode 163.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Min's Minute Modcast with his mates. Hey guys.
Hey.
Hi, Min.
Now, Satya's not here, but we're all good to crack on. And another busy week in the world of AI and tech. There's a few topics I thought we'd discuss today, starting off with something I saw yesterday, actually, in terms of what Google's doing with using AI for a slightly different use case, but I think it could make that movie come true, Dr. Dolittle, because they're doing some research and they've created this AI model, which I think is called Dolphin Gemini or Gemini Dolphin. And in essence, they're taking tons and tons of research and dolphin speech, I guess, and using that to translate that to actually what they mean. And then then talking to the dolphins, obviously using the same language. Fascinating. So I don't know what that means for your cats and dogs going forward. But any views on that? Perhaps we should be able to talk with, like, I was about to say, maybe we should start with like humans talking to each other first, but failing that, let's focus on the animals. Go for it, Perry. What's your thoughts?
Maybe I can talk to my wife now properly. Well, what are my thoughts? I shared this last week as well. We did a think tank about this yesterday. Everything is based on thoughts, right? And AI can outthink us. It's going so fast. So I'm not surprised they're doing this because this is based on thought. We make the connections, what we hear, we interpretate. How do you say that? I'm Dutch. This sounded really weird. Interpret. Sorry. We interpret it and we put that in thought, in a model. And of course we use AI for that. It goes much faster than a bunch of humans. Can you imagine where we're going? Can you imagine everything is based on thought and AI is doing such an amazing job? How everything is going to change, starting with listening to dolphins. I'm even thinking about maybe then finally we're getting basic income and everything changes, right? That would be cool. Why should we work? Let AI take care of everything, create basic income, and let's start doing other things in our lives rather than working and building a career and being stressed out about money. Maybe everything is going to change. Maybe there's going to be a human system. Sorry, I wanted to share that with you. I'm very excited about that. I think some really big things are happening, and it's not just dolphins, I think.
Yeah, so probably the most interesting scientist in history, called Dr. John C. Lilly, was the first guy to try interspecies communication with dolphins, and sort of hung on the idea that they, were more intelligent than us. They've really big brains along with whales, and he had initially spent 35 years researching the human brain, trying to figure out how it works, and essentially gave up and said, it wasn't possible to understand it. So switched to dolphins and, tried to get them to do like maths uh, and I suppose what I've read, like all his books, he's like so just super interesting. But I think what I've come to realize is that humans think we have the monopoly on intelligence. There's this assumption that the world is built around us and that we sit at the top of the food chain. But like, I really don't think that we are. Like, you just have to look at nature and just look at how incredible, like, how incredibly adaptive it is and how it finds a way, to sort of grow. And that, like, I know Perry is interested in the idea of the mycelium, the wood wide web, this basically network of, essentially the roots of mushrooms that are a bit like an internet for nature. They carry information, they carry nutrients. If, for example, there's like a tree that's attached to the mycelium that, is in the shade or isn't getting enough nutrients, well then, like, larger, healthier trees will send nutrients and information through the wood wide web, this mycelium network, to support and help the tree.
If you're interested in this kind of thing, then read this. It has nothing to do with AI, but it's absolutely fantastic. And I strongly believe, indeed, I always call it the human mycelium, that we're all connected and that human intelligence is about this connection. And I think by the AI coming into our world, this human connection is going to be so much more important than we can realize right now. What we're doing here, awesome. We're Min's mates connecting, and we're having fun, and we all have a beard, and we're here looking at a screen, and we can still feel each other. We sense our presence. That's the connection, and that's so awesome. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree. I'm a huge fan of the human mycelium, and we're building a platform called the human mycelium where there is a combination between AI, human intelligence, and community to connect all the dots together and go forward in helping each other rather than just creating systems.
Yeah. Mo, are you excited about us being able to communicate with other animals?
I'm super excited, and it was said it's not just about animals, right? I'm just imagining a world that you can actually interact and understand everything, right? From even tree language, plants, and even more, right? But if you want to go to the day to day, for developers to understand, project managers as well, you can have personalized AI translators, right? Understanding what does it mean if someone says, we need an extra 3 days, for example, to do something. So it's beautiful, and I feel like, as it was said, it's all about connecting everyone with everything, and it's just the next level of connection.
There's this cool company in San Francisco. I think I connected you with them in it. They created a tool where devices like Zoom, but also your watch and whatever can read faces and help you to translate what's going on with the other person. So in a Zoom meeting, you can see who's happy, who's not, but also who's engaged, who is secretly angry and is not sharing that. And it's awesome to use AI for that to give you extra support on what's going on, right?